Hello students, let us discuss the poem On His Blindness by John Milton. In this poem, the poet is talking about his own blindness. He became totally blind at the age of 44. And in the first line of the poem, the poet says that when he thinks that he has lost his eyesight before half of his age, he feels himself all alone in this wide and dark world. He means to say that this wide world seems him to be full of darkness due to his blindness. He has one talent of writing poetry, but now he is unable to use this talent. But he feels that it is his death to secrete this talent. Though his spirit is ready to serve God by using his talent and give his true account of life, that by his God gift of writing poetry, he served him. But he is afraid that due to his blindness, if he is unable to do so, God would rebuke him for not using his God gifted talent. The poet feels God as a hard taskmaster here. In next line of the poems, he asks himself foolishly whether God can be so unjust as to demand day labor from a blind man whose eyesight has been snatched by God Himself. But in next lines, the poet's patience or his inner conscience prevents him such complaining or such grumbling against God and consoles him by saying that God doesn't demand from a man of those gifts which have been imparted to him by God Himself. He also doesn't demand any work also from a man of incapabilities or inabilities. Those who surrender to God's will and accept His commands humbly, they are His best servants. Here, His patience consoles him. Humble submission to the commands of God is his best service. God is the King of Kings. Thousands of angels are ready to serve God on land and ocean without taking rest. But those who are incapable to serve Him, if only stand and wait for their turn, the poet means to say that their true patience, their sincere devotion, their submission to God's will is their true and sincere service to God. The poet concludes that God doesn't demand from man anything in return for his gifts. The best service of God is to accept God's will without complaint or without grumble, and to accept the situation and circumstances happily in which he has been placed by God Himself, without complaining against God or destiny. So, we can see in the poem that a man's true submission to God's will is his true service.